What's up, everybody? Welcome to part 1 of 2 of a new discussion part of the issue series. I guess that's what it's going to be called now. My name is KamTendo, and today we're going to be talking about features in Pokemon and how they have gone downhill and how they can be improved. But before we dive into that, let's go into our comment of the day, who is from Fee. Last video, I asked you guys who's your favorite pseudo legendary. It was a rerun of a comment of the day, and Fee said, "My favorite pseudo legendary is Goodra. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I just find it cute and I can't help but absolutely love it." And I didn't know people hate Goodra. Goodra's an amazing pseudo legendary. He's an amazing Pokemon. I fell in love with it the moment I saw it. My favorite is still Komo-o, but Goodra, let's face it, Goodra got a whole Hisuian form, so Goodra is popular. So popular that they had to give it 2 forms. So yeah, that's going to do it for that comment of the day. Our next comment of the day is going to be, what has been your favorite mechanic in Pokemon so far? And by mechanic, I mean like Megas, G-Max, Dynamax, Z-moves, stuff like that. With a new generation on the horizon, we will be getting a new mechanic. So what's been your favorite so far? Me personally, it has, and probably always will be, Megas. I know Megas were really unbalanced, and Gigantamax was literally just a more balanced version of Megas with the only lasting 3 turns and stuff. But I really do love Mega Evolution. I still hope it comes back one day. They said it might, but Game Freak is known to change their minds. Like, they didn't even plan for a Gen 3 or 4 remake, but we got one anyway. So yeah, I really do love Megas. I want to know what your guys' favorite is. Comment down below to be featured in the next video. So today's topic is, of course, features in Pokemon. Now, features are something that a lot of people are passionate about because we get them every game. We get, of course, stuff like following Pokemon, Pokemon Me, contests, stuff like that. So let's just go down the line. In Gen 2, we were introduced to Pokemon breeding. Pokemon breeding was, of course, the big thing of that generation. I guess you can technically call it a mechanic because every generation has that one feature that revolves around, that game. Like for Gen 2 was breeding, Gen 3 was contest and weather. Gen 4, it was online. I think that was the big feature. In the underground. Gen 5, it was triples rotation. Gen 6, megas, and so on and so forth. So pretty much, Gen 2 introduced us to breeding. And breeding has, of course, become a staple in the series. It's not going anywhere. Same with Gen 3 and weather. Gen 4, the underground left and came back in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. It didn't even show back in Legends Arceus, which makes sense because of how big that world is, quote unquote. And yeah, Gen 5 is where things start to get a little bit off for me. I guess you can technically say Gen 4 because another thing that Gen 4 added was, of course, walking Pokemon. It has become a highly demanded staple in the series. Anytime a new game gets announced, whether it's a new generation or a remake or a retelling, they all need to have walking Pokemon. That has become the norm until Generation 8. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I know a lot of people hate Let's Go, but Let's Go had peak walking Pokemon. I don't like Kanto, I don't like Gen 1, but you have to admit the best walking Pokemon mechanic ever was in Let's Go. Pokemon walk beside you. You can ride them. Like, yeah, this game had peak walking, and before that, peak walking was Heart and Gold, Soul Silver. Because let's face it, riding Pokemon was introduced in Gen 7, and I'm pretty sure since Let's Go is a Gen 7 game, of course, they wanted to keep that. When walking Pokemon came back in Gen 8, that's where things fell off. Gen 8 taught me that if you can't implement it correctly, don't add it ever in future games. Walking Pokemon in Gen 8, Pokemon would lag behind you. They had realistic speed, which it sounds cool and cute on the surface, but in actuality, it sucked a lot. Like certain Pokemon that I just wanted to walk behind me were like on the other side of the wild area or the DLC areas, and I'm just there. And then it got worse in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl because the Pokemon had collision, and this caused a lot of soft blocking issues. People had to restart their save files, and it just ruined it for everybody. Now, features like this are cool, but when Game Freak implements it in a fashion like that, it really ruins it. Another example of a cool feature that probably will never return due to the step that we're taking right now with open world is like PokeRadar and like DexNav and stuff like that. Even stuff like shiny hunting methods, like chain fishing and stuff. The only mechanic I can actually see returning is just Masuda method at this point, because with this being an open world game, we can see the Pokemon in the overworld now. Mechanics like that just no longer work, and those are beloved mechanics. And I'm not saying that we should just scrap the whole open world thing because people have been begging for that. I was against it at first, but now I really don't care. but people have been begging for stuff like this, but the sacrifices that we're taking to get there are massive. The only way to compensate for this new open world system is to implement features that of course coincide with the open world. Mechanics like DexNav and PokeRadar, those just they can't exist in this, because even in Sword and Shield you can bring it back, because on routes, while we could still have grass encounters, Pokemon still were walking around in the overworld. You could still get attacked by Pokemon that were chilling in the grass. While it was cool, I can see features like this just not returning. Another feature that I really hope comes back, and due to Ku's riddles, it might actually come back, is Soaring. He has been hinting at us riding the legendary on a chariot or something like that, and it would be really cool if Soaring from Oras can come back. That was a really cool feature. I know a lot of people loved it. I loved it. It was cool to soar around a region on Latios and just explore. Another feature that I want to come back is, of course, and I touched on this in my other video, but another feature I would love to come back is like a good battle facility. Not necessarily Battle Frontier, because again, I don't believe that's going to come back at all, but maybe something like the Battle Subway or the Battle Chateau, or just something along those lines. A feature that I don't see coming back, of course, and probably ever, is Pokemon and Me and Pokemon Refresh. If you guys don't know, while the Switch is touchscreen, Game Freak and other games for that matter don't really like to utilize the touchscreen, because the Switch screen is of course single screen. Now, we were back in the dual screen days like the DS era, that would be amazing, but we aren't. And to compensate for that, we have mechanics like Pokemon Camp or the affection levels in BDSP and Legends Arceus. Granted, BDSP kind of had it the worst. That's something else I want to touch upon. But mechanics like petting your Pokemon, of course, these are needed for Pokemon like Sylveon to evolve, but they are most likely gone forever. And another feature I of course want to touch upon, like I said earlier, is the affection mechanic. This mechanic was introduced in Gen 6, and affection and friendship are completely different, because friendship is for Pokemon like Espeon and Umbreon, while affection is for Pokemon like Sylveon. So affection was awful in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and I really hope they don't make it as bad as it was. And I don't mean bad as it hardly worked, I mean bad as if it was too good to the point to where it kind of ruined the game, because I beat Cynthia in BDSP because of affection. Like, affection carried the entire fight. There were moments where she should have killed me, but affection actually won the fight for me. It was cool at first. I was like, oh, cool, you know, affection and stuff, they care about me. But when it comes to important fights like that, I feel like I cheated, because I'm pretty sure the NPCs should have just as much affection as I do. But since I'm the MC, it of course works for me only. Another thing, and I might just make this a separate video, I'm going to touch upon this briefly. Mechanics. I do know that mechanics are kind of like the bread and butter of Pokemon games nowadays. Like, Megas were the big Gen 6 mechanics, so it had to be Gen 6 exclusive unless it was like a side game or something. And Z moves, I don't really want to see Z moves again. They were cool, but they were kind of the lamest mechanic of the three. G-Max and Dynamax, I don't see them coming back, because the lore said that they were each Natus's thing and a Galar exclusive thing. I'm really curious to see about this whole new mechanic, if it truly is a type changing thing. I hope it is, because it does seem really cool. Triple types, new types, stuff like that, I eat that up. But I just really hope that whatever feature we do get, it isn't rushed like the walking Pokemon, it isn't poorly implemented like the affection thing, and it just works. Because if you guys don't remember, shiny Pokemon and this is off topic, but shiny Pokemon in Sword and Shield, when the game first came out, we had a whole method down. It was like the kill method, where you had to like feint a Pokemon and hope for a shiny to spawn. And there are like videos after videos being posted on this, and the statistics on it weren't even that good, because it was constantly changing. And to this day, you still don't see people do that method, because it just didn't seem to work. And the only method that does seem to work now is like Masuda method. Legends Arceus gave us the shiny hunter method with the mass outbreaks, and the one they added in the mass outbreak thingamajigger. Those were cool, but I really didn't like how in the Daybreak patch they kind of patched out the whole reset, the soft reset thing, where we can just constantly go and reset. That kind of ruined it for me. I honestly really haven't played Legends Arceus after that, because while it was cool, Legends Arceus, as fun of a game as it is at first, the game lacks, replayability, or it lacks a reason to play every day because there's no online. The game, it is single player, but because of that, it is missing that multiplayer aspect that a lot of their other Pokemon games have. Despite this being main series, it was something new for them to try out, and I do appreciate that. But I really hope that next Legends game we get a better form of online. I get that it's a different time period and stuff, but I just really hope that, we can actually do multiplayer. That's going to be it for this video. I know it's been pretty much just me rambling about really dumb things like features, but I really do like it, and I want to know what you guys think about. I did say that this is part 1 of a 2-part video. Next video is, of course, going to be your guys' comments. What do you guys think about this? What has been your favorite feature? What is a feature you don't want to see return, and a feature you do want to see return? Comment that down below, and you will be featured in the next video where I follow up and talk about, your guys' comments. And yeah, that's going to do it all for this video. My name is KamTendo, and I will see you guys when I see you. Bye.